allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. First on the agenda is application at 101 Dix Castle Road in Garrison. The appellants seek relief from restrictions on the type of construction that can be built on slopes greater than 20% and greater than 35%. The applicant also seeks relief from the limitation on the maximum amount of impervious surface that exists on a lot. Would you like to explain a little bit to us, Mr. Watson, please?
Thank you. Len Watson here with Justin Caker. We represent the applicants. This parcel, a little over 7 acres, and by way of explanation, this was an approved subdivision from the 1980s. It was River Company Partners as part of the original Dix Castle property. This parcel was about a 4,000 square foot house was built on it, and nothing else. And as you can see, the way you read this map is that the darkest gray. Sorry. The way you read this map is that the darkest gray is steeper than 35%, and that the lighter gray, the darker gray, and the lighter gray is between 20 and 35%. The new zoning that was enacted in 2011 restricts the type of development that you can do on 20% grade, and further restricts the type of development that you can do on 35%. Basically, 35% allows very little, 20% allows a little but not very much. We have a situation where we have a common driveway coming up through the middle of the property, which basically cuts the south end off. We have one very artificially created flat area right here, but that houses the septic system. Our clients would like to make a small addition to the property on the north side of the house, construct a little bit of an outdoor living area, including a small pool on this area. And they're not, as well as a driveway to come up to that area. Now, you may have seen that driveway come in on a different route. We've since been out in the field, and we've kind of walked what we think is a better route, which will keep us off the steepest slope and away from disturbing the septic system. So we went to the planning board with our plan. They're, of course, not, they don't find us eligible for approval because, of course, they can't bend the rules. You're the people that can give us a variance. They can't.
Did they deny you?
They did deny us. They referred us to the planning board.
Yeah, but I don't have that in the minutes. I just don't have the denial.
The minutes, I'm not even sure the minutes are out. They referred us to the planning board and told
Right,
us we
they
were
referred to us,
ineligible.
but
That's- Yeah.
The motion was referred.
Okay,
Correct.
all right.
Was
So we don't
referred
need a
to.
denial is my question from them.
As far
Dominic?
as we know, I didn't know there was a denial, but there was a referral.
All right, so my question to you, Dominic, is we don't need a denial first?
No, they can't actually grant the application without the variance, so they referred it over to this
Okay.
board, which is
They did
one of
find
the...
we were ineligible for approval, and it's functional equivalent.
Right.
So we're seeking to be able to build adjacent to the house at really kind of the best place for the design that Mr. Caker has done, and that's really our whole story with regard to steep slopes. The other issue is the amount of impervious cover that you can introduce onto a piece of property is limited to 10%. Now, in and of itself, that wouldn't, right on the surface of that, you wouldn't think we were over the 10% because we have less than 7/10 of an acre on 7 acres of impervious coverage. But when you make that calculation, you subtract all of the gray is subtracted. And when you then add up the white, we have hardly anything to play with. So what we're really talking about when we're talking about that 10%, it's not 10% of 7+ acres. It's 10% of something around 3, or maybe a little bit less than that. And when you put the impervious coverage over that fraction, you get, instead of 10, today we have a little over 11, and we're seeking to get to 12. So those are the two areas where we need a variance.
Are you looking to put an addition on that? Is that what you're
Yes,
what
there's
we're
an
talking about here?
addition. Yes, there's an addition at the north end of the existing house,
Okay.
and right next to it is a pool, and behind it is a patio area.
That's all what you're looking to build?
That's what,
Okay.
and a driveway to get up to
All
there.
right. And so your problem basically is that because there's so much of 35, or so much of the gray area, which is more than 35% or 35% grade, it
Right.
shrinks you down to the area that you can work with.
Yeah, the
The-
majority of it is over 20%.
The light gray is 20, and that's also similarly restricted.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we can't use any part of the land that's over 20% in our calculation.
Okay.
And when we do that, that's when the impervious surface coverage goes up. If we were to just use it and the site were relatively flat, I think we're like at 1.7% impervious surface coverage. And the maximum is 10%.
Okay. I'm gonna
So
show us-
already we're at 11.3, and when we do the addition and everything else we're proposing, it's bumping it up to about 12.
Okay.
This is a cross-section.
Yeah, the
It's
planning
actually-
board asked for a cross-section.
Okay.
So we drew this cross-section here in color, so you can see,
If that's, is that where the house is now? Or
yeah,
on that-
you
the
can't
blue-
really see
Going
the
through.
house in this drawing.
Okay.
But the section is cut through, directly through the site, perpendicular to the topo lines.
Okay.
So what you can see here, I'm sorry, is down here, you can see Dick's Castle Road,
Okay.
and working up to the driveway, and the driveway kind of circles up and around to a parking area.
Okay.
And there's a couple of retaining walls and a retaining wall for the pool.
Okay.
So this was to show the planning board what is cut and what is fill.
So you're looking to go back more into the hill?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, we're sort of carving it into the hill. We're coming off the north end of the existing house, so what you see here is, this is the existing house, and this is the addition. The addition is a great room and a screened-in porch. Walk out of the screened-in porch to the north, and there'll be terraces that are grass with retaining walls and a pool.
Okay.
That's, that's essentially it. We need an access road to do this project, because currently the existing driveway comes up on one side, on the south side, and there's a 3-bay garage that's built sort of into the hill. So there's no way around it for construction access on the new addition.
Okay.
So we're planning a construction access road that comes up from Dick's Castle Road on that side of the house to construct this.
Let's see. All right, so, Mr. Watson, what exactly are you looking for from us to do?
Well, we're looking for a variance to allow us to construct these elements on the steeper slopes. That's a variance from the steep slope restriction, the two different parts of it, the over 20 and over 35. And then a variance that would raise the amount of impervious coverage that we're allowed from 10% of the calculated buildable area to 12% of the calculated building area.
So basically, 3 variances?
3 variances.
One for the 20% grade, one for the 35% grade, and one for the impervious surface.
That's correct.
Is the new construction on that map there?
Yes, it's right in here. It's a little hard to see because of the slope.
Barely, I can't see it.
So the,
You need a variance for the road?
I don't know. Are you going to need a variance for the road?
Pardon me?
Are you going to need a variance for the road? The driveway, the new road you're looking
Part
to
of
put?
this driveway goes over, the driveway, I believe, you can build a driveway on 20% slope, but there are parts of the driveway where we're crossing a little tiny bit of 35.
Okay, so that's what the planning department, then you got to work,
yeah, that's the planning, yeah,
right,
yeah.
okay.
We don't need a variance for that. Essentially, the number one variance we need is the impervious surface coverage. That's the big one, which is the impervious surface coverage.
Well, you would need all 3 of them, wouldn't you?
Yeah, because of the.
Dominic?
Yes.
Right, correct, okay,
Okay,
okay. Don't cut yourself short
okay.
if you're trying to get something.
I showed you this harsher one before because it showed the driveway where we're really intending to build it
Right.
in that relocated, but this driveway, we've decided it gets too close to the septic area. It's going to require too much grading and too much fooling around with the grading area. And then it becomes really tough up right through here as they make the last turn up. So I showed you the one with the driveway taking the alternate route. But if you look here at this particular plan, it's really the same plan as far as this open white area is the house.
Right.
This darker, more closely hatched area is the addition.
Okay,
And then the pool is out here, this kidney-shaped
okay.
pool. The patio's behind it.
How many square feet are you at?
To,
To the house,
Yeah, to the house.
1,500 square feet.
Okay, how big is the house now? Any
It's
idea?
it's a 3,100 square foot footprint, the house,
Comfortable enough?
and the addition we want to put on is 1,500.
Okay. And with a pool behind it, like, attached to it?
The pool is on the north end, so as we build to the north, we're adding a 1,500 square foot addition, and then a pool, and the pool is, I believe, 860
Okay.
square feet.
All right, and all this is like going back into the mountain. And so
Mm-hmm.
you have 7 acres, so there's really nobody within view there, I don't think. Anything, is there?
There's
Any-
another house that's way up above on the steep slope.
Right.
Up above them.
Right.
They've got a pool up there too. They've got someone down on the south. You can see, their property, and they've got a tennis court.
Right,
So, no, there's no one right behind them. There's no one adjacent to them.
okay.
the person to the south is here on the map, but they use the same road and the same cul-de-sac.
Right.
They have a much bigger house than this house will be. It's considerably bigger than this house will be.
Right.
It also has a tennis court and a swimming pool and a separate garage.
Right.
So in
So they're all,
terms,
they're all similar then in the area that have that,
the
have that
next
type.
house to the north is more modest, but it's built on much steeper ground. It's
Right.
really severe. Then
Right,
Then we get to really pretty distant houses. There's a fairly modest house that's going up over here to the northwest. That's presently under construction. Its access is off of a place called Fine Place, which is on 90. But there's, and I think we documented that in the stuff, what
Right.
those distances were.
right, right. Is this rock that you're gonna be going into, or a combination of both, rock and soil, or,
It's a lot
that
of
you have
rock.
to cut into?
There's a
All
A lot of
rock?
rock. There's a lot of rock.
Yes.
Looks like all rock. Are
Yeah.
there gonna be any blasting?
No.
No.
No blasting at all?
No, the blasting is pretty much out of favor. They find other ways to do it.
Yeah, that's what I wanna know.
Basically drilling and using water jets to break the rock. And also, from our section through the site, there's not gonna be a whole lot of cutting. There's some, and we have to build some retaining walls, but there'll be also a lot of filling behind those retaining walls to create flat terraces.
Yeah, on my site visit, it's all rock. from what I
Yeah,
see.
there's a lot of exposed rock.
Yes.
Yeah, and when we're doing the access drive going up, we're trying to work with some of the large rock outcroppings and leave them alone, so we're going up around them, so we don't destroy them.
The town engineer had suggested that we use the existing driveway and go around here, but that would require even more cutting in a worse situation.
Already.
And it's
Already than what you
It's
have.
already,
not
like, stuck into
to
the
go
wall
around,
there.
around the east side of the garage, and we ruled it out on my site inspection, and then I'm not gonna put any words into Ron Gaynor's mouth, but he didn't say, oh, yeah, you're right. But he didn't say,
But he
oh, yeah,
said
you're
you're
wrong
wrong.
either, and
So you're a
he's
winner.
much better at that.
We have to demolish half the garage, the three-bay garage, in order to get access through there, or we
Yeah.
have to take out so much of the hill.
All right.
It just doesn't make any sense to us.
Well, even with these if you were to get these variance approvals, you would still have to go back to the planning board.
Oh, yes,
Right.
yes,
So this is just to see if you could continue with the planning board
Yes.
case.
exactly.
Correct.
Okay. You have any questions? Anybody else have any other questions you want to ask? Anybody? Anybody? All right, so, looks like a big project, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's a substantial project, for
Residential
sure.
project.
Yeah,
Big.
that's,
Our client, he's got 7 acres, and he bought the house. What he was sort of told was he could build, some things to the side. They had a design for a pool and
Yeah.
a hot tub and a spillway and everything, so he said, well, why can't I? My neighbors have it, I've got 7 acres here.
yeah, well,
It's really steep slopes.
we
is
run
the
into that a
real
lot up
issue.
here, because that's all that's left is steep slopes, really, to build on like that, so.
But it's a substantial lot, and it's got a view of West Point, which was his alma mater.
All right.
And, that's one of the reasons why he bought the house, so that he can be there. He has 3 boys. They walk up and down the road when they're dropped off from school, and He wants to
Right.
make it a place to, right
Right.
now, just wants to make it better. He wants the addition's gonna be a timber frame primarily, the great room, the screen porch, and he wants this outdoor area with views. We're trying to minimize tree cutting, all the things that we've discussed with the planning board already.
Okay.
But there will be some tree cutting.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. We have to cut down some
Yeah,
trees.
but not a great deal of it.
No, we're trying to minimize that.
Right, right,
Yeah.
right. Like I said, it still has to go back to the planning board, even if we were to approve it or disapprove. it. So I guess first thing in order of business would be to make a motion to see if, make a motion on the approval, on the application.
Did we
Go ahead.
deem this complete?
Deem it complete, that's what I meant. We didn't deem it
Oh,
complete
yeah,
yet,
okay,
no, I'm
yeah.
gonna take a vote to see if we deem it complete.
Oh,
And then we're
all
gonna set it up for a public hearing.
All right. okay,
Yeah.
Yep.
Deem it-
I'll make the
right?
motion.
Make a motion. I second it.
Aye.
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Favor? All right, so it's unanimous, okay, so the application is approved. All right, now we'll set it up for a public hearing for next meeting, which should be February 8th,
Okay,
okay?
February 8th, we'll see you then. Thank you very much.
Now, I'm going to ask you one favor on this. Can you send out the notice in the paper like you did the last time? I still don't have a
I knew that was a
secretary.
mistake.
You knew that was coming, didn't you?
I'll take care of it.
One question
Sure.
for February 8th, do you need to see any more architectural?
Yes,
Okay,
because I don't know who's going to be here.
okay.
Okay, because what happens is they notify all the neighbors and everything else like that. And it would be unfair to not have these available for the neighbors, if the neighbors were to come or something like that, you know.
Like
Yeah.
like that one.
elevations?
Yeah.
We usually have that, one- something like that, and also with measurements and stuff.
Absolutely.
Could
These
you
have
show us the
measurements and-
location of the pool and the patio and everything also?
Say that again?
Just show us the location of the pool and the
Yes.
patio.
Yeah, you'll have
Yeah, so
rendered
this
draw-
way,
you'll
in
render
case there
drawings.
are other people, no neighbors there, it would be unfair not to be able to show them.
We've got it dimensioned, we've got it in color, so.
Well, that's what we want to see. We got a rough idea now, I think. You were extremely helpful. Without this, it would have been very difficult
Okay.
to make a decision, in all honesty, even if it was complete.
Okay.
Okay? So we'll set for 7:30 on February 8th.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you very much.
Great. And you're going to send it out, right?
I will send it.
Thank you very much.
It won't be on the 8th. Won't be here on the 8th.
Chinese New Year's. So make it 3. Maybe we'll have somebody by the 8th. I don't know. Let me see.
No, I don't.
No, Chinese New Year's. That's my big family holiday.
Well, let's leave it.
Yeah.
Let's leave it for the 8th. I don't
Yeah, no,
want
you can-
to, yeah, we'll do it. Okay, no problem. Maybe he'll have somebody by the 8th, I don't know. A new member or something like that. Let me see.
As long as it's straight, I'm just giving you a warning if anybody gets sick. I got
Yeah.
nobody.
Oh, yeah, I'll call you, yeah, you just have to,
And I ain't coming. I don't miss New Year's.
we'll have to change it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, if something happens like that, I'll have to change it, that's all.
Yeah, it's like the Jewish calendar. It goes by because there's 13 moons in a year. It goes by how many moons or what phase of the moon. I don't quite
See,
understand.
that's not marked on my calendar, Chinese New Year. It doesn't say that on my calendar. I guess I don't have a Chinese calendar.
No, my aunt always gives me one that's only in Chinese. I can't read Chinese.
All
I
right,
don't know what it's like.
and you'll send that, Glenn, you'll send that like you did to Dominic and all like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I appreciate it. We're in the process of getting the secretary, in the meantime, I'd appreciate it.
Yeah, and he's a West Pointer. You got mine?
What?
Give me mine.
Oh, yours?
Yeah,
You put them on top of my pad
No,
here.
it was here. You just normally grabbed them.
I guess so I can see better. Okay, all right. Next one is application at 32 Hudson River Lane. The variance to this property was approved on October 8th, 1996, appeal number 566, for the encroachment into the setback of the side and rear deck, and with the condition states that no further enlargement or reconfiguration of the structure is authorized without a building permit and/or a zoning board approval as needed. The proposed alteration, in addition to the rear and side deck, will enlarge and reconfigure the existing decks. This will require a variance from the zoning board. All right, that's before. Is there anybody here to speak for that?
They are, Mike Monteleone is on his way. He's running 2 minutes.
Who's on his way, I'm sorry?
Michael Monteleone is
He's on his way? How long do you think it's going to be?
2-3 minutes.
2 or 3 minutes, okay. Well, we'll start to go over it a little bit. Go ahead.
One thing,
Amongst
I didn't
ourselves.
see any proof of ownership in this
I just got it.
application.
She just gave it,
Oh.
she just gave it to me just now.
Oh, okay.
So we have the deed.
Oh, okay.
But
Yeah, it
I don't
wasn't in the
see
original
any
package.
measurements.
Yeah, that's why I say we'll have to ask him, we're gonna give him the benefit of the doubt, give him a few minutes to get here and like that. And, well, I guess we could talk it amongst ourselves. You don't see any measurements for what? I'm sorry.
In other words, the addition, how far it is from the
Yeah.
line.
Yeah, there's a lot, there are some stuff that's missing, that's
From
for
the
sure.
closest house, yeah.
Yeah.
The architectural plans were submitted, and I believe Beatty and Watson did a survey based on Michael Carr's submission of the
Oh, here it is.
architectural
I
plans.
got it, okay.
If they're not there, more of them are coming in the next few minutes.
All right,
No, hold on. Here it is, the back, the second page, got it.
yeah, but I wanna see,
Yeah.
I wanna see here and here, so I guess you're bringing
Exactly.
more with them, is that what you're saying? More dimensions?
And said, "Make them," and they said yes, and I said, always bring
All
more.
right. I'll tell you what we'll do, we'll take a 5-minute break till 8 o'clock.
Hold on.
The survey has all of the proposed dimensions.
I'm sorry?
I think so.
Yeah, I think so.
The second page has them all.
Second page, we
Has
have to
them all,
make a
yeah.
second page to make it clear.
Yeah, no, the second
Second
page
page
has all
has
the, has all the measurements.
Yeah, but it doesn't tell me here, proposed addition, like
Addition.
in the front of the house, it doesn't tell
Right.
me how far it's going up or high, I don't see that.
No, there's,
Like here, on the front end.
Right. It tells you how far it is from the end of the lot, but it doesn't tell you
There's a
how,
deed.
how wide it is from the existing structure, you know?
You know what I'm saying? That's what I
also-
need, I hope, yeah, they need the,
All
arch-
the setbacks, all the setbacks.
yeah, setbacks are good, but I need the architectural.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Michael, you don't have to wait till later.
Oh, we don't have to wait 5 minutes, all right, that's good, okay. We start at 7:30, we usually start on time.
I didn't realize.
No problem, I'm not chastising, I'm just letting you know. All right, tell us what you're trying to do here.
Basically what they're doing is they're raising the roof,
I'm sorry, give me your name, please.
Mike Montaleo.
Can you stick by microphone, because otherwise a TV person
Yep.
gets
can't
me.
get one in the shooting distance.
Okay.
It's Mike Monteleone, and they are looking to raise the roof of the house.
Who are you?
Jim Matero.
Oh, you're doing the job?
Excuse me?
You're doing a job, you're doing the
Yeah,
construction?
I'm the
Okay.
general contractor.
Okay.
How high are they planning to raise the roof?
They're actually not putting a second, livable second floor. It's really just to get storage out of the basement.
Yeah, there's a few other things too. Do you have any plans?
We do, right here.
Okay, well, we don't have them, see?
Yep.
That's the problem.
I'll
So,
hand this over to you.
yeah, but how many sets do you have?
I just have one with me right now.
You gotta have 5 sets of plans.
So this is incomplete, yeah, we need.
You gotta, let me
have-
explain to you, let's go what you need, okay, what we need. One place, for us to sit here and look at one set, that we just can't do it,
Gotcha.
okay? Let's go through the application and see what we need. I understand what you're trying to do. I know that the basement down here is below flood level.
Correct.
I think flood level down here is what, 9 feet or something like
7
that?
feet.
7 feet, right?
Yeah.
And I know the basement's below that.
And their first floor is
11 feet.
11 feet.
11 feet. Okay,
Yeah.
I looked at the plan.
So their intent is to move the mechanicals all upstairs out of the basement area.
Out of the base, because I guess they got hit during Sandy.
They did, yeah.
Okay. So where are they gonna move the mechanical up to the attic, is that what you're
They're
saying?
gonna move it between the attic and the first floor in different locations.
Okay,
The electrical panel and so forth, we moved to the first floor. Heating system, proposing to put in the new storage space in the attic.
okay. Now, what else are we doing here? And I see we're changing, we're taking one deck down in the back,
Yeah, part of the deck in the back.
okay. Now, the deck in the back, are you gonna need
That deck is existing.
existing?
That
Okay.
was a variance given for that deck.
Right, we got that,
Yep.
we have all that. Now, are you gonna remove that portion of that deck?
Yes,
And so you're only gonna have the smaller deck?
just that smaller section,
Okay,
yes.
see, what we're gonna need all the plans for that. Like that, your steps, your additional fireplace, your proposed addition over here in the corner by the steps, and your front. We have
Gotcha.
to have all those plans.
Yep.
Because otherwise, it's not complete to us.
Right.
Is there anything else? I mean,
Yes.
as far
Yes.
as, everything else looks complete. See, we have to have everything in order to deem it complete, in order to set it up for a public hearing.
Okay,
Now, public hearing, we already have a public hearing set for next month, okay? In order for me to set it for next month for public hearing, I would have need these plans.
Right.
But if that's the only thing that's missing,
Also,
Go ahead.
I would want to know what the dimensions are on.
plans.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
And
you-
also, I'd like to know how you're pretty close to the setback. I'd like to know how close the closest house is on all the areas that you're into the setback.
You can see that on the.
Yeah, it's on this survey.
On this one
I
here.
think it's 5'6" on the one
On
side.
the house next to him.
Oh, okay.
He's 5'6", that guy, he's only 6 feet or something like that from the property line. Usually this house is down by Manitou Road, those couple down by Hudson River Lane,
Yeah.
they're very, very close together.
And this is all, other than the little push out to the south side, which is
Right.
like a little 2-foot cantilever put on.
Right.
It's all staying within the existing house.
Right.
So he's only 6 feet from the property line, the other guy? And you want to
So,
be,
next guy,
basically, you're
yeah.
staying on the same footprint, just going higher.
Correct,
It's
that's
the
it.
deck that's coming out more.
And we're removing the portion of the deck, yeah.
Removing, and part of the deck will be coming out more.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it's the deck that triggers the need for the variance.
It did. The deck, when the deck was done, I forget what what year that was done,
Yeah,
but 96, and then that put a stipulation that any kind of major improvement
Correct.
had to go in
And
front of the board.
enlargement
Correct.
right,
that
right,
further into the setback would trigger the need for another
right.
approval from the zoning board.
Yeah.
yeah, so you're not putting
Hard to think it was
anything?
20 years ago.
So you're not putting anything where that existing deck is? You're
No,
taking it
it's
out and leaving
coming
it?
out, correct.
Oh, and there's nothing going there?
There's nothing going there.
Then you're making a smaller deck?
Yeah, basically, it's just a portion of the deck that's pretty much gonna remain.
See, unfortunately, when we look at this, we don't have the plans, it's tough for us to,
Gotcha.
to make anything, any,
And you have a proposed little deck in the front then?
That's a front stoop.
Uh-huh.
That's existing, and then we're looking to expand it to the north, which is still within the parameters of the house.
Yeah, I drove by today and took a look at it.
Yeah.
I see pretty much what you're trying to do. And I understand completely trying to move the mechanicals
Correct.
out of the flood area and all like that. I understand that. But like I say, we can't do anything without the plans. And
Yeah.
you need, we're gonna need 5 sets.
I can have them down to you tomorrow morning.
Is there anything else we're gonna need to deem this complete?
No, as long as we have complete drawings, we're good.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
I just wanted to
I
ask you,
remember
the
this.
proposed addition on the,
Fronted houses.
yeah, the front of the house of 6 feet, what are you gonna do with that?
On the front of the house?
Yeah.
It's basically just enlarging the front entry. There's kind of like a little, kind of enclosed porch that's there.
But the long 6 feet thing.
Well, the plans will show that.
Yeah,
right?
the plans
will
have
show
it
what
on
they're
there.
gonna do
Yeah.
with that. Yeah, and you're gonna put you're gonna extend the roof line a little bit too. Is that what you're looking to do?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
we have to have all those.
Yep, it's all
Okay, with
together.
everything, 'cause otherwise, okay, so,
Yeah.
In elevations.
any elevations?
Correct, yep.
Right, you know, roof line, your height and everything else like that. Anything else you think we're gonna need? Anybody have anything else that you think you're gonna need? All right, can I deem this complete pending upon if you get us into it tomorrow, next day, they can have the town clerk mail them to all the members and the attorney. This way we'll have time to review them by next month. Because what we have to do now is we have to set up it has to go to the newspaper, it has to go to all your
Correct.
neighbors and everything else like that, all the neighbors that have to be notified and all like that, you know. We do that.
Okay.
But, all right,
I'll drop them off to the building department first thing tomorrow.
I'm sorry?
I've got them in an email, and I allowed to email them to you?
No,
It's gotta be done through the town.
good try.
No, you know, well, she heard me say with Glenn Watson, he did the last time, he put it in the paper the last time. I'm trying to think what to do here. Okay,
Because I don't
What-
have an email.
I don't want to hold you up, I don't want to hold you up for another month, because then if I make it another, then I'd be holding you up for 2 more months. I really don't want to do that, okay? So I'm going to make a motion that we deem the application complete upon you bringing in the plans. We have the plans for the next meeting, which would be, then it would be a public hearing.
Correct.
Okay, that would be for February 8th,
Correct.
right? That's the Chinese New Year?
Yep.
Right, February 8th, okay? And make sure you break everything, because we might only have 3 members here that night, so you're going to have approval from all 3. Because, one of the members is off, it's his holiday,
Gotcha.
so,
And you need 5 copies? Is
is
that
5
what-
enough, right? One,
Well,
well,
in
maybe
case
one-
the next one gets appointed.
It should be a minimum of
Yeah.
6.
Minimum
because
six?
Maybe 6, 7.
Okay.
I'll need a copy, and one should be on file with the
Yeah.
building
So
department.
it's all
One
about-
one is on file already with the building department.
So one zoning part, so we need 5, 1 is 6. 6,
6 copies, okay.
okay, you could do that?
I'll have it down here by 9 o'clock tomorrow.
Well, I won't be there, but Tina and Miranda know
Yep.
that it's for me, and I'll be in later on, I'll speak to her a little
Okay.
bit, and we'll do that, okay? And so you're all set, okay? Will be a public hearing. What happens at the public hearing is that anybody who's interested, the neighbors and all and everything else like
Yep.
that, they'll want to, if they want to come and look and see what this is about, and if anybody has any opinions, sometimes they do.
Okay.
We'll have to hear that, and then we'll make a decision at that point in time.
You got it.
Okay?
Thank
But
you very much.
it'll take another month to get your
Approval from there, correct.
Okay, so it doesn't happen that night.
Yeah, no, that's why we're waiting, we're hoping to break ground in the spring.
Well, that would be March, so that
Yeah.
would be beginning of March,
Yeah.
so that would be perfect.
That's really what we're timing out for.
Okay.
Okay.
Any other questions?
No, I'm good.
Okay, all right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. Oh, well, we approved it. Did we take a vote? No.
Who you want?
I made a motion that this be approved pending him bringing the
I'll second.
plan. Second.
Complete, you mean.
All in favor?
Didn't complete, right?
Completely?
Yeah.
Complete?
Yeah.
Complete? All right, unanimous, okay, thank you. All right, last agenda is, I want to go over the application, the current application.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Could I make a suggestion?
Sure.
I'm taking a look at this tonight, and what I would suggest perhaps one way we could proceed is I will send around some suggested changes that are consistent with the town's current zoning procedures
Okay.
set forth in its law. And that way you can consider like what the suggested changes are next month, and then also add any additional things that you may have at that time as well.
Okay.
I'm doing so for a little bit of selfish reasons, only because I have to be in Boston for a meeting at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, which means I have to drive up tonight
I don't mind you being
to
selfish.
Boston,
All right,
so
no
I
problem.
apologize for that.
No
But
problem.
if I'm eager to get on the road, as you might imagine.
Okay, just so you know, the one thing that has to be changed in here, it says 1 week.
Yes.
That's 2 weeks, make that 2 weeks. So
Correct.
that's a definite thing, okay?
Correct. For instance, it says meetings are held on the second and fourth Monday of
Yeah,
each
we
month.
get rid of that, but.
Correct, correct.
So you
what-
understand,
What I
you
was
you
going to
see
do
the
is.
common
is
areas.
I
there.
would go through this, I would type it up, and what I'll do is I'll prepare a red line so you can see the changes that we're proposing,
Okay.
and things that are being taken out.
Great.
And I can circulate that around for next month, and then we can add or subtract to it, and as the case may be, whatever the board decides at that
Okay,
time.
thank you very much.
Certainly.
At this point in time,
Changing this to
I make a motion that we adjourn.
second?
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, Boston, here you come.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.